Hello and welcome back to episode 11 of the Valley of the Vibes podcast. Today I am joined here with my co-host, Michael on that side.
Hello,
Say
hello,
hi.
hello.
And it's just us two again. Um, I don't know why. I think from now on it might just be us two. But we're working
Yeah,
on it.
maybe at
Um,
some point, you know, someone will be back.
yeah, someone will be back.
Yeah,
I wonder who it could be.
yeah, we'll leave it up to the viewers to figure out who that is. It's not like we've
Yes.
mentioned him in the past two podcasts.
Yeah. It's not like, he was in the rest of the podcasts, but
Yeah, that's you. But
beside the
Kevin,
point,
you can't
beside
give
the
the
point.
viewers too many hints, man.
Bro, I mean, we've had a couple like decent guests. We've had a lot of people on the podcast before.
Kevin only had two.
That's a lot, okay?
I suppose it
for
is a lot for us.
for us, it's a lot, Michael. Come on now.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no, that's fair. That's fair.
so Michael, how have you been? It's been 1 week now, and how's your life been?
It's been a bit busy. As you can hear, I just yawned. Um, I had two tests last week. I
Ooh.
had an oral test, good old singing in music, do re mi fa sol la ti. Um,
Oh, fun times.
no, not fun times.
No, not fun.
There were two portions to the test. One was like a written
Okay.
one where you had to do rhythmic and melodic dictation, which
Yeah.
so our oral teacher would sing us a melody. We'd have to
Yeah.
listen for it, and then we'd write it down like what we heard, all the way we heard it. And then the same thing for the rhythmic dictation, like the way she also sang the thing, but she just didn't do it in um like solfa notation. She just like sang in one tone, pretty much.
I see. I see.
So that went
I
pretty
mean,
well. I got like 97% for that.
that's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah, so I was quite happy. But then, yo, I was saying it the whole week because the second portion of the test was the next day, right? And
Mm-hmm.
the second portion of the test is like the practical section where you actually have to sing to your teacher. And I'd been working like decently hard. I was practicing singing and clapping. Like I might have missed a few things here. Maybe I like tunnel visioned a little bit on one thing, you
Yeah.
know. And I was like, no, I think it'll go okay. I get into the call, the vacuum's going in the background. I have to play on an out of tune piano. I start singing. My voice starts shaking, and I'm like, oh my god, this is going terribly. Oh no. So now I have to sit there through the rest of like these exercises, like battling my way through, because some of them I'm like, yo, ma'am, I'm sorry, I forgot. I'm just so stressed right now. You know when you're so stressed that you literally feel like you get cold chills?
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, that was me. Like,
That's not. That's
no,
look. At least it's done. You know.
at least it's done, but just like singing tests are so bad, bro. I can't. It's just when you know you can't sing, it's just nah. And then the other test I had was a test on Friday, and there was a bunch of stuff
Mm-hmm.
about the Baroque era.
Mm-hmm. Baroque
Um,
era.
Baroque.
Fun times. Fun times.
I thought you were like the Rock.
No. What the fuck, Michael?
Hey, you never know. But anyway, so it asked us about like the different genres within Baroque period, and then it asked us about the different like techniques they used and what they did for things like melody and rhythm, etc., etc. And then the last question was an essay of 800 to 1,000 words on the complete life of either Handel or Bach.
800 to 1,000 words. Well, that's a bit rough. I mean, it's not that bad
Yeah, like,
actually.
but so we were because we'd been writing short essays up until that point, and some of our um academic writing skills, like uh lectures and stuff, and
Yeah.
they were all like short essays where they were like maybe like 500 words. So we're like, yeah, okay, it's not going to be too long of an essay. Then the test is like, bah, 800 to 1,000 words, and we're like,
Look, Michael, at least it's not 5,000 words, okay?
Yeah, I was like,
I still have nightmares.
yeah, I was like, it's not the worst it could be. We could be getting like a 5,000 word essay. You know,
I
we're
still
not.
have
We haven't
nightmares.
got one of those proper uni essays. But so
Oh,
I spent
you're in for a fun
yeah,
ride.
spent quite a lot of time studying for that. I think the night before the test, I only got like an hour of sleep because I honestly think I overdid it a bit because the test felt fine overall.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I was just in the morning. I was like, "Yo, this is
It's
bad,
just
bro."
bad times.
Yeah, and then also because I go to UP, I had to. I live very far away from UP. I don't live in like any sort of res near there.
Yeah,
I
you have
had
to
to.
take the train, don't you?
No, I drove there because my
Oh,
mom had a like hairdressing appointment. So and also I have my learners, and I have to practice for when my actual driving test is coming up, which should be soon,
yeah.
hopefully.
Hopefully. What do you mean
Hopefully.
by hopefully? Have you even like booked, Michael?
Well, there's this guy that I'm going through that's trying to find a slot for us because that's what it's I don't know, it's like the thing he does. He finds slots
Yeah.
like really easily and like will let you know, and he's pretty good when he's like teaching you. He's like because I couldn't find any slots when I was trying to book my learners, and
Oh yeah.
we spoke to him, and it took him a few months, but eventually like he found a slot for the learners. We went there, sat at the driving department for like 5 hours, but yeah, made a friend as well, so it wasn't all bad.
I mean, fair enough.
Yeah, but the learners got sorted. Now I'm trying to do my drivers. I was on an hour of sleep. I was actually driving surprisingly well. So
It's a bit dangerous, but I mean,
no, it's actually it was actually
at
literally
least you're alive.
it was literally the best that I'd driven. I was actually really shocked. I was like,
Hmm.
what? I, I said to mom, like, I'm on like 1 hour of sleep, mom. I don't know how I'm driving this well. We got stuck in like peak hour traffic because there were accidents on the highway. So
Naturally.
there was an accident going there, right? And there was an accident coming back too. So
Mm-hmm.
we literally came to a standstill. And you know, when you're in a standstill, you're like in first and you're like, okay, I have to stop. Now I have to pull off. Now I have to stop. Now I have to pull off. Now I have to stop.
Oh
Now I have to
yeah.
pull off. So, if I ever did struggle with pull offs, that should fix the problem.
I mean, look. At least you're still alive. You've got a lot of experience,
Yeah, I
and
feel
it's
like
not
it's
all
going
bad.
well. And then
But you know,
I drove my actual car yesterday as well.
oh,
So
okay,
yeah, because I've been driving my mom's car up until this point. We've had a lot of building going on at our house, so
yeah.
we haven't been able to park every car that we have in the thing. So we've had to put like one or two either in like
No,
a
that's pretty
little
cool.
storage unit, or we actually asked our neighbors to keep one of our cars for a little bit, and they're very nice about it. They're like, "Yeah, sure," you know,
No, that's pretty
neighbor.
cool. Neighbor.
But yeah,
But you
the
know,
test went really
yeah,
well, so I was quite happy.
that's good. You know, I was thinking like because you were talking about driving a lot, and I was just thinking like, how the hell did we get around the place, especially in a place like Joburg, without our licenses? Because like back in like high school, no one's got their license. So in order to, I don't know, go out for a jol or something, you'd have to ask your parents. And like if your parents say no, it's like, oh, okay, cool. I guess I'm staying home then.
Yeah, no, it's a bit of a rough one.
Like
My
now, like I
yeah,
know if I wanted to go out and I asked my mom and she said no, I'd be like, well, you can't stop me anyways. Just give me the fucking keys. It's like, how are you gonna stop me?
no, that's fair. But I'm lucky. My parents have usually always been like really, really chilled with me
Oh no,
going out and
my
stuff.
parents are on the opposite end.
Yeah,
They don't want me going out half the time.
no, my parents are super chill.
Oh,
I
that's
love that they're
nice.
super chill. I'm like, hey, can I go out with some friends on this date? And they're like, oh yeah. I'm just like, Really? Like, yeah.
Do you want to hear? So yesterday was one of our mates' birthdays, and we were like, obviously, we all bought a gift for him, and we managed to buy him this really nice bottle of whiskey. So it was split between four of us. It was myself, Daniel, and two other mates. We decided let's buy this guy a really nice bottle of whiskey. And it actually like fucking warmed my heart because when we gave it to him, he was so happy. He was genuinely so happy. And then I realized something like the one thing I actually miss about high school. Like, there's not a lot of things I miss about high school, right? But there are a couple. And the one thing I think I miss about high school is the fact that you've spent, in my case, probably Michael's as well, but you've spent 13 years with basically the same group of people. And, albeit it's a pretty big group of people, it's like 100, it's always fluctuated around 100.
Yeah.
But you've spent 13 years with basically the same, 50 oaks that never left Benny's.
Yeah.
You've spent 13 years with them. Like, yes, you might not be friends with them, but I know for a fact that I can phone one of the Benny's mates right now and be like, look, I need some help. And something tells me they'll go, cool, what do you need? Let me see what I can do.
I mean, I feel like it depends on who the person you phone is, but for
I feel like
for quite a few of the people, it would be the consensus. So
I say 90% of everyone who went to Benny's. Because there's obviously that 10% you try not to associate yourself with. Like, I honestly, in every sort of group, right? Albeit at a university or whatever, in your class, whatever, there's about 10% of that group that you just go, I don't know how they got in here. I don't know why they're here, but they're here. Just cool. I don't speak for them. They do their thing. We don't speak for them,
Yeah.
But I think for 90% of the grade, it's like, I phone them and they'll go, cool, what do you need? Let me see what I can do. And that's one thing I really miss about high school. Because, also one thing I realized is, so the way Stellenbosch is designed, right? It's like laid out. It's not really enclosed in like the way like you would see at normal schools. It's part of the town. Like, you can just, if you don't go to the university, you can still walk through its buildings and things like that. So it's nice. It gives you a sense of I'm living in a town, but it also doesn't give you the sense of
I'm going to university.
The same. Sorry?
It doesn't give you the sense of like, oh, I'm going to university.
No, it does. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm living in a town. I go to class like down the street. It gives you that sort of I'm an adult now and I'm doing adult things kind of sensation. Albeit I might not be doing adult things, but I'd like to imagine that I am.
I'd say you're doing pretty adult things. You're washing your clothes, you're buying food and cooking.
Yeah, well, I just feel like also at the same time, what's nice about high school was the fact that it was like enclosed, right? So basically, I think up till this point, let's say we spent, how long was school? Like 6 hours? No, not 6 hours.
It was like, wasn't it 7:30 until like 3?
7:30 till 3. But let's just round it off and say 7:30 till 2 because Wednesdays and Fridays were early. But you're basically spending 7:30 to 2 on average. Someone work out how many hours that is. My maths is terrible. I don't want to think right now.
His maths is terrible as he's doing an engineering degree.
Why do you think I'm struggling so much? No, but like, it's like that many hours in this place where you can't leave. So you're kind of forced to interact with other people in your grade, right? And one thing I actually I'm quite we all shat on it, we all made fun of it, but the one thing I'm actually quite grateful that Benny's taught me was like the importance of having a brotherhood. Like, I know we shat on it, I know we like memed on it, we made jokes about it, but still, I honestly think that, especially now that we're in Stellenbosch, if one of my mates got into a fight, I go back my mate. Because he's my brother. He's part of the brotherhood. I back him, and I know for a fact that if I got into a fight, he'd come back me as well. Albeit we might both get beaten up, but point is, we both got beaten up.
Yeah, it's like at least you don't leave your friend there and he's got a black eye for a week, and you're like, yo, sorry, I should have helped you. Instead, you're like, oh shit,
Both of us
eyes
get
hurt.
black eyes. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, that's one thing I really miss. What about you, Michael? It's just been reminiscent for me. Well, what's one thing you miss the most about high school?
I think,
Doesn't even have to be one thing.
yeah, seeing obviously like my entire friend group like went down to Stellenbosch, so like being able to go there every day, especially when I got particularly close to like you guys as my friend group, because I know you said you stuck with like the same like 15 oaks, and that is true to an extent,
Mm-hmm.
but your actual like friend group, I'm not sure how it was for you, but mine shifted quite a bit like over the years.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
So
that's fair.
like I think I stuck with a particular few people who are still friendly towards me today. I'm still friends with like a few of them today from like elementary school times.
Yeah.
Prep school, same thing. I was friends with them into high school. I don't really chat to them as much now. I do still have their numbers, but it's just the nature of things that you lose contact with them after high school. But when I got into high school, I had one friend group, and I ended up like, I wouldn't say like distancing myself, but it sort of like naturally happened, where I
That you
ended up
just
got into another friend group, and it was partly because I was in pipe band at school,
Oh yeah?
and I think you and I became friends in like grade 10, right?
Friends is a strong word. It's more like you bullied me into your friendship in grade 10.
No, don't cap. You willingly sat next to me in maths.
That's bullshit, bro. You know it. First day,
No,
I sat by myself. Then teacher yeeted you over to me. That's how it happened. I didn't like sit
nah,
next to you
that's not facts
willingly.
at all. Because I always sat at the desk that was closest to the door.
No, I'm saying I sat at a certain place and the teacher yeeted me
Oh, to
to
me.
you. It
That's pretty
wasn't
funny.
me willingly going to you. It
Yeah,
was
but I mean, we still got on pretty well.
I
It
got
doesn't
on as
matter.
in like fucking bully the shit out of me every time I had maths.
No, not really. I just make like shitty jokes. If maybe it was mental torture.
About me.
Nah, not
Shitty
about
jokes
you.
about me.
It could have been shitty jokes about someone in the class too. You see, it's stuff like
See, but
that.
most of the time it was me.
Kevin likes to think he's the victim here, but he's not.
No, I am definitely the victim here. Shut up.
Now
I
that's
am
some
the
cap.
victim.
Now that's
No,
some
no, no,
cap.
no, no. I am the victim.
Okay, but like stuff like that, and obviously playing CS with the friend group that I had, I really got into touch with Daniel and like people he was friends with as well. Through CS, and when I saw them, I'd be like, "How's it, mate?" There was a particular person that I don't know if I should. I don't know if I can really. I can't say his name. I'm sure he wouldn't mind, but
I'd
it's
rather not. Just
it's
just in
yeah,
case.
someone who really didn't like me because I made a joke or like I was joking about him, but it was a very Benny's way of joking. It was kind of like a roast, but it was like a roast saying like houses, and he just hated me from that point. And he said to me the only point that he saw me and he was like, this dude's actually pretty chill, is when I was chatting to you, Kevin. He's like, no, this guy's actually pretty chill. And then him and I became like really good friends. And we joke about it today. It's like, no, this guy, we used to fucking hate each other, like properly, dude. And it's like, now we're like best
I
buds.
think I know who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I would hope so.
The same person actually. I remember in grade 8, the same person was actually terrified of me for some reason.
I mean, justifiably so.
Because we went on a tour, and I guess at some level there is like that intimidation factor because I think in the
Yeah,
swimming
you
team,
have to get to know different people, and it's like
yeah, but in the
jarring
swimming team,
socially.
like 3 out of the 4 people from the A team, were from the prep school. So we kind of grew up together and swam
Yeah.
together sometimes. And, there is like that sort of intimidation factor. But I talked to him the one time and he said, no, I was actually genuinely like terrified of you for some reason. I was like, what did I do? Because, if you've met me maybe like on a bad day, I can see why I'd be terrified because if I'm angry, there's that, yeah,
I mean, at
shit
school,
comes out of me.
Kevin also used to punch me a lot. So to an extent, I was a victim too. But yeah,
Oi, oi, Michael, don't turn this back to you, man. What the fuck? No, like, okay, so I'm a very physical guy. The way I like greeting people is, give them a little, like, punch on the shoulder, give them
punch on
a
the shoulder,
little
my
hug.
ass. You'd run down the hallway and give me a Superman punch on my arm.
Okay, to be fair though, when I was doing that, you also, whenever you saw me, you'd come rugby tackle me.
No,
So,
okay, that was okay. I
that's
did
all in
try and remember.
fairness.
There was one time I got you good. I remember that was so funny. That one
That
day I
was
got
funny.
you so good, and I like tackled you to the
You know,
ground.
it was funny. It was in front
Oh
of
man,
one of the teachers. The teachers thought we were having a fart.
oh, dude, I
And they
hate
were
it.
like,
I
no.
hate it. I hate it when teachers do that. You're like busy playing with your man. You're like, stop farting,
And I was
and you're
just
like,
like, no, man,
ma'am,
we're just saying hi
dude,
to
it's
each
like
other.
we're just like chilling, bruh.
But sometimes, like, some of the teachers were like, stop farting. And other times the teachers just looked at us and was like, yeah, I
Some
used to
teachers
do
just
that as well.
didn't care. Some teachers were just like,
Yeah.
if you die, you die.
Some teachers didn't care. Some
Yeah.
teachers cared way too
But
much.
stuff like that, being able to see people like you and Daniel at school, and that guy and some other people that I made really good friends with over playing CS and over Discord with, like it sucks not being able to see those people and make jokes with them, and you know, bully them to
Yeah.
an extent, and they bully me to an extent. Like,
No. There was no extent, Michael. You fucking bullied the shit out of me, okay?
nah, that's cap.
That's not cap.
Okay, I bullied you mentally, but you bullied me physically. Is that fair? In class.
Michael, have you seen yourself?
That's fair.
Do you really
Cool.
think I can bully you physically? You would fucking
Dude,
pummel me, my guy.
no, I wouldn't. Dude, you still punched me, even though I'm like, I don't know, you're like 5'10", 5'11", like 6 foot maybe.
I'm 6.
Yeah, I'm literally 1 inch taller than you.
Yeah, he's fucking massive, folks. Yeah, I'm just saying, if you ever see Michael
I
walking
do.
down the street and you piss him off, ooh, good luck, man.
I mean, I'm probably not gonna do anything. I'm like a teddy bear, dude. When have you ever seen me get genuinely angry at someone that I want to like hit them?
Michael, if I had to list the amount of times, we'd be here all day and we wouldn't have time to finish the
Okay.
rest of the topics.
Now there's some bullshit. But anyway, so that's like what I miss about like school the most. Also like stuff with band. Like school band just hits different, you know? I don't
That's
know.
true.
It was
That's
really
true.
fun. It sucked when we didn't get our last season. But
That does no, yeah,
yeah.
You
Because
know, speaking
it was a lot of
about,
fun.
sorry,
I said it was a lot of fun when we were all there together.
yeah, no, yeah.
Making fun
Speaking
of
about
the
like,
tutors and, dueling. That was another thing. Making fun of teachers is pretty fun, I have to admit.
yeah, like, yeah, I don't know. Now that like you reminded me, like we can tangent off this and like, we spoke about what we missed about high school. Do you have any regrets from high school? It can be like for me personally, I wouldn't say it's a regret because I couldn't really control it, but I think our matric year just like I've got to give respect to the school. The school did try their best.
Yeah, I mean, it's really like unforeseen circumstances that they can't
Yeah, no, the
really
school
change.
really did try, and I really respect that, and I'm thankful for it. But at some level, it's just like we didn't really get the matric year we were promised.
Yeah. We came into high school, we went on our like orientation camp, and we were like,
And
yeah,
yeah,
when you're in matric, you're gonna get all these privileges. You're gonna be able to go onto the balcony. You like grade eights will look up to you and respect you,
you get to
or
like
whatever,
force kids into war cry practice. You get to like,
and you don't have to come to it yourself.
yeah, I was like, what the fuck? That's so cool.
And then
Oh,
it got to
turns
matric.
out,
We got to like, was it April? It was March. It was literally March,
it was
and
March.
good old Cyril was like, lockdown.
We are locking down the country.
And,
I mean, look,
and I was just like,
you know,
you're in my matric year. You're kidding.
yeah, no, it definitely sucked.
No, it
I
didn't.
think it sucks a lot.
Yeah, it
But you know,
does.
like, props to the school. We did get a matric dance. Like, I actually like am really thankful to the school that they managed to put out a matric dance, that we still managed to do a valediction, albeit it's a weird one. They kind of
Yeah.
forced us into it, but you know, I respect that. Like, they actually tried. They put effort into it, and
Yeah, I guess
it
so.
wasn't all bad. I guess. Like, I think from there because I think like having COVID affect our matric year sort of forced us to become more independent before we actually have to, you know what I mean?
No, I feel like it kind of just made me depressed.
That too, but you know, you learned how to deal with your depression by yourself, you see.
Yeah, I guess so. In terms of
Um,
regrets, like, I don't have any major ones. I guess one you could say, when I was in grade 8, I swore at one of my teachers, but I don't really.
okay, but that was like fair. Like, this teacher doesn't work at Benny's anymore. But trust me, if you know her, that swearing at her, I completely understand.
Look, on one hand, like, sure, swearing at her, maybe not the right way to handle things, you know? Well, okay, definitely not the right way to handle things. But on
On
one
the other
hand,
hand, fuck that
I
teacher.
didn't like her. No one liked her. When I swore at her, I got a lot of respect from my peers, and in a lot of ways, it helped me like change and like reflect, being like, is this really how I want to be? You know, like looking at how I treated things in terms of my attitude towards the rest of school. Uh, when I
Okay,
was in
but
grade
also
8.
like,
No,
I mean, that's fair,
I'd
but
say
still, fuck
it's
the teacher. I
no,
hate
no,
that
no.
teacher so
Like,
much.
I don't look at it as like a regret. I look at it as a thing
A
that,
learning curve.
yeah, basically, it's something that
Remember,
I'm glad that
kids,
it happened.
if you
I'm glad it
swear at
happened.
your teacher, you're gonna become a better person.
Don't swear at your teacher. That's a bad idea. Don't listen to Kevin. He has bad advice.
What do you mean? I have the best advice, bro.
Nah,
Best advice. Half of the people, like in our friend group, fucking use my advice. Okay, so
nah,
you
that's
know,
cap.
it's something must be going right.
Otherwise, probably a realistic regret is taking science. God, I hated that subject. Like, I didn't enjoy it once. I think the only section that I actually enjoyed was organic chemistry.
Well, that section was easy though, so I think everyone
Yeah.
enjoyed it
Well,
because you
no,
actually understood it.
actually, like, well, from the younger grades that I see that are doing stuff in it now, I think quite a few of them are struggling. I don't know
Really?
how, but yeah, it's really odd because organic chemistry was easy, but we had other easy like subject or other easy topics, but that one just seemed the most like entertaining. It was cool,
That
especially
one
like
just hit different.
drawing those structures was a pain in the ass, but those structures look cool af when you finish them.
No, 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 no. Fuck them structures, bro.
Well, okay, well I suppose you're still doing them now, aren't you? In engineering.
No, I'm not. Fuck organic chemistry. Right now in chemistry, you're basically just doing redox reactions.
Oh,
Like I just remembered why I hated chemistry in high school, and that hasn't changed once I reached uni because fuck chemistry. I hate
yeah, no,
chemistry.
redox reactions are just ass. I also hated those. I didn't like science. I wish I even if I took, I think I didn't take something like bio because of the teachers that were there. The one teacher in
See, no,
particular,
no, no. Hang on.
I was scared of because I'd heard stories from my
Everyone
brother.
says that. No, everyone says that, right? But I will give these teachers credit because yes, they were like strict, and yes, some of them were. We have two bio teachers. One of them was really unreasonable sometimes, but
Most of the time.
the one thing, no, no, hear me out.
Okay.
Because of that teacher, because she was my matric teacher, right? Because of that teacher, our fucking when we came to finals for bio, aced that fucking exam. We fucked that exam up. Like kids were like complaining it was too difficult, and we're like, really? This is so easy. This is like so much easier than like fucking cycle tests we get, bro.
See, but at the same time, or by the same token, I would have been taking bio and RT, and mixing those two subjects with those two teachers together. I think I would have died mentally at school.
Oh no! Hear me out. One of I'm not gonna name names, but there was one kid who took science, bio, and RT, and still managed to be like the smartest guy in our grade, Michael. So
I mean, fair enough. Yeah, I just wish I never took science. That is a genuine regret that I have from school.
I think one thing people realized like too late was that you know how everyone's like, oh, I need to do science because science is like going to open so many doors.
Mm,
But I think one thing people realized way too late was that yeah, science will open a lot of doors, but if you don't understand science, don't take science because
yeah,
it
because
will literally
yeah,
not help you at all. Then
I never landed up doing well in science because I just hated the subject and I never cared to do well in it. Even though
yeah,
I just
and now you're doing
yeah,
music. Like you don't need science to do music. You know?
exactly. Like yeah, yeah, exactly. It's just it's frustrating. If anything, because my options, and I know I've said this to everyone, but my options were literally polar opposites from each other. Right? It was either I do computer science
hmm
at UP, or I do music at UP. Right? And it's literally opposite sides of the spectrum in terms of like the subjects that you're doing. But
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
I guess
yeah.
it's like I guess
On one hand,
people
like
should
comp
just
sci to an
realize
extent does need science, but I feel like it needs more maths
maths.
and
It's a lot of
IT.
maths.
It's a lot of maths
No,
and
no, no.
IT.
It's more maths than IT right now. I have friends doing comp sci, and they
Well,
just
no,
say
it's more
no.
maths than
It's a
IT.
maths.
No, it's more than maths than IT. It's because they've already like done the IT up until that point. That's why.
Oh, do you? Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
But you know, apparently, if you're doing a comp sci degree, you're technically doing a maths degree.
yeah, because there's a shitload of maths in that degree. So,
Oh,
and
okay.
at one point, I was pretty decent at maths, and I don't mind the subject either. Like, it's not maths isn't science for me, you know. Math,
Yeah.
science is like, "Ugh," and maths is like, yeah, no, I tolerate it. You know, I kind of like it.
I can.
Yeah, I
I
could
don't.
I could do
Like
maths.
is a strong word, but you know,
Yeah,
I can.
I'm okay with maths.
Yeah.
So, but that's the feeling I have towards it. So I wouldn't have minded doing that, and I'm sure there are options um, to get me into it. But
I mean,
yeah, another thing people uh, don't like realize is that you don't always need your matric marks to get into the course that you want. Like, sure, you'll
see,
need your matric
hang on,
marks.
hang on.
You'll need your grade 11 and matric marks to get into university, right? And preferably do as well as you can so that you can get into your course of choice, right, or your
Yeah.
degree of choice. But if you don't manage, it's not the end of the world. After you're done with matric and you get some like marks behind your name in university, you just land up using those marks to get into another degree that you can eventually funnel into the
That's
thing that you
true,
want to
but
do.
also at the same time, it really depends on the degree.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Because if you wanted to do something along the lines of engineering, science, a BSc, if you did badly in matric, you're not getting into those degrees. Like, it's just, I'm sorry, but so I remember the first day we went to the engineering faculty, they literally said to us that 90% of the people in this classroom got 80% and higher for their matric. And there's 780 of us. So that should give you a perspective of like the level of matric marks at least that's required.
Yeah, but
They did also mention
most of those are like
no, no,
proper
no.
first year students as well.
What do you mean proper first year
Like they
students?
came straight from matric.
I mean, I get no. We have quite a few that like took a couple gap years and things like that. But one thing they did mention was like just because you got a high mark in matric doesn't mean you'll do well in uni automatically.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one thing people I think there's one thing that's one thing I agree with you in the fact that just because you did well or you didn't do well for matric, you still somehow get into a degree, that's good. But it doesn't automatically mean that you're going to do well in your degree or you're going to do badly in your degree. Because a lot of people that I know, they didn't really study. It was more their parents studied for them, if you get what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They kind of
Yeah.
pushed you know, where you like have your
Christian
parent
agenda.
pressure you and stuff
Yeah.
instead of you studying.
I
And
remember.
then all of a sudden you go to uni, you have all this freedom, and then you end up
I
like me,
remember when
struggling.
we went on that one camp. It was like one of those. It was a religion camp. Yes, we went to a Catholic school, so you know, when we
Yes, we
say
did go to a Catholic
we had
school.
stuff like religious education, everyone's like, gasp, you know.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I think religious education in South Africa, at least, it's definitely like most schools
Well,
would
I
have
mean,
it.
no,
No,
because Benny's is a Catholic school, but something like St. John's isn't it Anglican? I think.
I'm sure they still have RE.
No, I
Don't
don't
they
think
have
they
RE?
do.
Don't they have RE? Oh, okay.
No, I don't think they have like strictly RE.
I mean,
Maybe
look.
they have like a
With
form of
that
it,
being said,
but other way, like.
that being said, yes, we did think it was a waste of a subject and a waste of time, but you
No, I
know,
mean,
could
you
it
know,
could have been worse? Could have been
near the
worse.
end, I think it was kind of a jewel. I'm not gonna lie. In grade 11, if you got the right teacher, you know, you just chilled in class and you're like, so let's just have a philosophical chat. You
You
know?
see, yeah, I think RE personally for me, I guess there's still some aspect because we did go to a Catholic school, and you know, Catholic school have Catholic ways, and they obviously didn't teach you that. And I don't have a problem with it. But at the same time, with that being said, I feel like RE should be more towards asking questions and getting answers rather than just getting like taught stuff. If you get what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's fair. There were some teachers. So the last 2 years at Benny's, well,
Mm-hmm.
if you can consider matric a last year, um, we had a really really nice RE teacher, and although I swear it's like a common theme of RE teachers and dodging hard questions about their religion, but he was in general pretty good with that. And when we had philosophical chats about stuff, they were actually quite interesting. So those
And
lessons
they
I
did
did,
give you like
yeah,
actual decent answers. Like he actually answered quite well, I
yeah.
think.
If you and I are thinking about the same person,
No, we are. Trust me,
okay.
we are. I know who
Yeah,
you're
oh
talking
yeah, yeah.
about.
We had the same RE teachers. That's fair.
Exactly.
There were some RE teachers that were very like close-minded, and you'd ask them stuff, and they'd be like, "No, that's just why, just God wills it," and like,
Yeah, they give you the answer of it's just God's
okay,
plan.
but
And you're like,
why is it God's
Drake?
plan? Like, why does God will it that way? I don't know. God just wills it. It's like, well,
Yeah,
that's
no,
not
that's
an
not.
answer.
But then, like, this RE teacher we're talking about, like, actually would sit back and think about why, and he'd try his best to explain it, which is quite nice, you know?
Yeah, no, I enjoyed like his lessons are fun. His class is a bit cramped, but his lessons are fun. Um,
His lessons were definitely fun.
but anyway, so there was a kid, well, a kid that someone who matriculated from Benny's who came to this camp, and I think he was religion head or something as well. Of the school,
Mm,
he was
no,
one
he
of the bench
wasn't. He was
prefects,
head of
wasn't he?
music.
Was
He
he?
was head of music. Yeah,
Okay.
head of music
Well,
and
other
rugby
way.
captain.
No, you're thinking of the wrong person. That was our year's
Oh,
matrix. This is before.
I see.
Yeah,
Then yeah, it might
he
have been
said
head
that
of
he went
religion.
into a. He said he either went into like a, I think an engineering degree or like a BSc general degree or something like that. And he said,
Mm-hmm.
you know, he did really really well in school, like 80s and 90s, easy all the time, hardly had to study. Um, and he got into uni and he just crashed and burned. He failed his first year because he just hated
Yeah,
what he was doing, and the stuff got so much harder. And it's like,
yeah. You've got to
yeah,
enjoy what you're doing.
exactly.
Like I hate chemistry, but not to the extent where like I don't enjoy it. Like it makes sense. I just hate it. I just fuck chemistry, you know.
Yeah, no, I
But
get
everything
you.
else is fine, you know. Except for
It's
maths. Maths is always going to be that one subject where it's
it's the
just
same
like,
thing with whether you choose a job that earns you lots of money or you choose a job that makes you happy. In my opinion, I think you need to find somewhere that's like a happy medium, to the point where if you decide to have something like a family, you can support them while also still being happy with what you do. That
that's
like
true. I yeah,
7 to 9
because
hours a day.
actually one of like when I was a kid, one of my it's still actually one of my dream jobs. Right, it's gonna sound a bit weird, but one of my like genuine dream jobs was to be a what do you call it? A you know, marine biologists,
Hmm.
but ones that work at aquariums.
Yeah,
Yeah, I want to like he's basically the vet, but he's not actually the vet.
yeah.
Um,
You're like, I
that
want to
was
be
my
able to
dream
swim
job.
with the fishes on demand.
Exactly. No, that was my dream job. But it's like yeah, I'm using marine biology as an example, but it was like it's more of a general biologist where if you can work at a zoo, you can because my dream job was actually genuinely like when you watch Animal Planet and things
Yeah.
like that, and then it
Yeah,
was
those
like
jobs do actually look really sick. Like
like
people who are like super animal people, watching people like Steve
yeah, I
Irwin,
love watching
and
that.
there's a new guy. They call him, oh, not new, but they call him the Lion Whisperer. I can't actually remember his proper name, but he's a South African guy. And
Yeah, and
everyone's
he's
like,
like
"You're insane for like treating the lions like they're your children." And it's like they are my children.
they are no, like it's like I remember watching one of the biggest I think inspirations for this dream was mostly Steve Irwin. I
What a
wanted to
legend!
do what Steve Irwin was doing, like genuinely. Like that was my dream job to go around the world to go visit and like teach people about these animals and how to take care of them and even work at like I don't know. I'm just throwing zoos names, but like, what's it? Australian Zoo. Like work as one of those caretakers.
Yeah,
But then at
that's
the same time, you can't really raise a family off that salary. So you can't.
it
You've
depends.
got
It
to find
depends
a
on what you
balance.
do. Like because I know. So the dude's name, that the Lion Whisperer, his name is Kevin Richardson. I think. Kevin, it's a
Yeah.
son.
No, shut up.
um,
I'm binded to engineering, Michael. I can't
but
leave now.
if you, it's, I'm not sure if he's running. I think he's running like a conservation park,
Yeah.
but people can go and visit. And I know that well, he wouldn't be doing it if it didn't earn him enough money because I think he has 2 or 3 children now, plus his
No,
wife.
like fair enough,
So I think
but
it
like
like with YouTube, because he uploads to YouTube, he's had a lot of interviews and he's got a lot of deals with shows and stuff that he does. I think with all of that, he makes quite a lot of money. So I think if you're good at what you do as an animal handler at XYZ Zoo, or maybe you don't like the treatment of animals at any particular zoo, and you decide to like start your own thing, and you know it's like an animal wildlife rescue, and you eventually build up to like a much bigger thing, which is I think what a lot of these people have done. And you start traveling around the world, like you say, like Steve Irwin did, and you get show
see, but
deals and you
like
get interviews. I think doing that does end up earning you a lot of money, but you have to work
no,
very, very
no,
hard for it.
it does, and also, but you've also got to think like the chances because out of all the fucking zookeepers and biologists and like caretakers in the world, how many shows do we actually get about them? Not a
Yeah,
lot.
there's
We
quite a
don't get a
few.
lot.
Like, but it
Trust
also,
me,
if
like
you're just a normal caretaker, you're not going to earn a lot. But if
yeah,
you're a
that's what I'm
marine
saying.
biologist or like a normal like animal biologist, you are going to earn a lot because you're technically a scientist doing research about animals.
That's true, but trust me, it's not as much as engineering earns you
Yeah,
if
look,
you
I
get
know,
into
I
it.
know what you mean. I know what you
See,
mean.
one of the reason I decided, okay, I can't do that, so I'm going to do engineering. So one of my plans is to do civil engineering. That's the course I'm studying now. Do a master's for environmental engineering. And my logic is that, yes, I might not be directly involved in, wildlife conservation and things like that, but I'm going to try my best to make it a better environment for everyone. And that's honestly like what I'm planning to do. Like, do civil engineering, get a master's for environmental engineering, go and find a way to make the environment better. And as an engineer, you can do that. All right. Civil engineering, for me personally, you could build more green buildings because, there's overpopulation coming soon. But it was like projected like 13 billion, something like that, like projected, I think, for 2050 or like 2060, round about 13 billion people. You're going to have to house these people somehow, right?
True.
And if you like look at all the shitty houses we have now, it's just not great, man. So you've got to like my plan, but one of my dreams is to be able to build housing and build cities for people that doesn't impact the environment negatively. In fact, it would be awesome if it could impact the environment positively, but we're still working on it. I don't know if we ever will get a technology like that, but we'll see.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's my plan, and also it pays a lot. Like, it sounds like a bit of a dick thing to say, but at the end of the day, it does pay a fair bit of money.
Money.
That's money. I gotta somehow like feed my wine addiction. Okay, leave me alone.
You gotta feed the boys wine addiction.
I've got to feed the boys wine addiction and my League addiction. My God, dude. I swear to God, I have an addiction to League now.
You've always had an addiction to League.
Like, I haven't played... No, I haven't, Michael. I haven't. Trust me.
Kevin, you have an addiction to League.
Now I do. No, that's true. But I didn't before. Like, actually, now that I think about it, the first game I genuinely started enjoying was Destiny 2. I don't mind playing CS with you guys, but I'm just really not into it. I never would play CS by myself. It'll always be with friends. But Destiny 2 was, I think, the first game I started playing. I was like, I actually don't mind playing this. Like, I can play this by myself, right?
I had a lot of those games. In terms of gaming, I was alone in prep school. Other than my brother, but Alex didn't really like me that much in prep school. Which, I mean, like preteens are pretty annoying, so I don't blame him.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. But also, I think, and then my sister. So I played League of Legends back in like grade 9, grade 10 for a bit. I never really got into it because I think I was only because I was the only person who was playing it, and it was like at the time the game was in a questionable state. It was a bit weird, so I never played much of it. And then last year, my sister was like, "Do you want to play League of Legends?" And I was like, "Sure, I guess." Like, albeit, my sister kind of introduced me again to it, and ever since then I've just been addicted. It's just such a fun game, man.
Yeah, Kevin's the one that made me record that terrible League gameplay that you saw like 2 weeks ago.
Look, here's the thing, right? Don't roast us about our gameplay. Look, we never promised professional gameplay in any of this, right? But at the same time, we try, okay? And if it looks terrible, don't roast us, please.
Yeah,
we're not professional gamers.
But yeah, yeah, and then I saw comments on last week's episode. Someone said, because last week's episode was, what was it? I put CS, and I had the good old Stride official crosshair.
Oh yeah, the Stride official crosshair.
It looks like you're playing like a 4-player split screen, but the crosshair's a vibe. So I don't mind
it's a special crosshair. It's a special crosshair for a special breed of people, us.
Exactly. And if you look at the 2 games that I put there, it's pretty sick. Alright.
Wasn't bad.
Yeah, I like the gameplay. So, clearly the crosshair is doing something. But someone's like, the crosshair is AIDS, but honestly, this podcast hit hard at 4:06 in the morning. And I was like, hell yeah. But you should take the crosshair too.
But the crosshair is the way. Join the way.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know how I'm talking to viewers right now.
Oh man. But I think also one of the biggest things I really enjoyed about League personally was there's so much to learn. So I guess you could say that about every game, but the games that I've been exposed to, so Destiny 2, there was a lot to learn, which is what I really enjoyed about it, because you learned how to use this weapon, what to do with this, and what's the most effective way of grinding and getting loot and things like that. And then Destiny 2 decided we're just going to remove everything from the game, so I stopped because I don't have money to buy the DLC.
Me, the first competitive game that I got into was Overwatch, and
oh yeah,
I enjoyed it because winning fucking feels awesome, but losing, like, it lights something underneath you, like, those assholes beat me. Those
I got to
motherfuckers.
be better. I need to
Exactly.
be better.
I have to
I
beat
need
them
to
again.
overcome.
I need to
I need
become
to
a certain
become
rank so I can
the
get there.
anime protagonist.
Exactly. And there were certain characters that Overwatch also had a ton to learn, and they're very slow to adding new champions, which sucks. But the game was still very fun with the champions that they had. Different metas, different buffs and
Yeah,
nerfs that
yeah.
they had. So the game was, I really, really enjoyed it. Eventually,
Like I think,
after they introduced one or two select characters that the community didn't like, myself in particular, I ended up switching to CS, which is also a really nice, like, competitive option. And in a sense, it's like, I found CS to be one of the hardest games to learn for me.
wait,
Like,
really? I feel like there's
that
not
game,
much to learn in
no, that game
CS.
has such a big learning curve. The way CS works, I find, is that when you're at the beginning, you, like, don't know anything. You're the person who's, like, running around the map and spraying, and
Oh
you're
yeah,
walking while
that's
you're trying to
true.
shoot the AWP. You're trying to use COD mechanics and stuff. You're switching to the
That's
AUG and
fair.
the
Yeah,
Krieg. But then you start gaining an understanding, and your knowledge for the game just, like, shoots up, and so does your skill once you understand that you have to be standing still. Util's exceptionally important. You like spray control, stuff like
yeah.
that, quick scoping and how no scoping works, stuff like that. Your movement, because Source Engine's very special. Um, you know, special,
But like,
and
I do
has, like,
think
very particular things about it. So I think it is 100% one of, like, the hardest games that I've
yeah,
had
but
to
do
learn.
you think there's more to learn in CS than there is in League though?
So I've thought about this a little bit, not too much, because I hate League.
Okay.
Um,
I mean, he says he hates League, but he still plays League, so it's a love-hate
it's
relationship.
reluctantly. It's only, I feel bad for Kevin because everyone else hates League. So, um,
Mate, and also, no, look, I would play CS with you, but like, my Wi-Fi genuinely can't handle CS.
well, then when you play CS, I think your setup's kind of scuffed because CS you have to listen quite a lot
Yo,
as well.
I don't have my headset, so basically, I have earphones plugged into my like phone, right? Which I'm listening to on Discord, and I've just got to like kind of hope to God that someone is not like being quiet, so I can hear them actually through the speakers of my monitor. It's
So,
pretty scuffed.
so the way that I compare League and CS is that I think League, in terms of volume, has a lot more to learn,
Yeah,
right? But CS, in terms of, like, pure, I don't want to, like, there's a better word for it, but skill. Like, there's a
no,
lot more to
yes,
learn there. There's a lot more
I
skills
agree with that
there's
as
a lot
well.
more
Yeah,
skills you can refine within CS than you can in League. Like,
that's
obviously,
true.
within something like League, I can get a lot better doing something like CSing or killing the minions, whichever you want to call it. Um,
See,
and
so
get better at,
hang on,
like, macro play. But at
I
the end of
had
the day,
to
there's
explain
still,
this.
like, so many more champions that I have to learn and all their different mechanics. Where CS,
Yeah,
it's once you've learned those mechanics, it's about, there's still new stuff you can
perfecting
learn.
those
It's more about
mechanics.
refining as
Yeah,
much as you can.
because the one thing, like I was explaining to my friend, the biggest thing I noticed about CS and League is League. It's like when it comes to like, for example, CSing the minions, which basically for people who don't play League, you kill the minions to get gold, right? But if you don't kill the minions, if your minions kill the enemy minions, you don't get the gold,
Yeah.
which is the problem. But I feel like for something like that, CSing, it's really easy to learn, right? You obviously there's still stuff to learn. You've got to practice a bit, but it's a lot easier to CS and be effective to that than I don't know shooting in CS:GO. Because in CS:GO, if you have shitty aim, you're gonna have a shitty time in the game. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And aiming is something that like will continuously you have to keep practicing it, keep refining it. That's just one thing you've got to always learn.
Yeah,
But
no,
then the one
definitely.
thing I've noticed about League is in terms of like, okay, yes, you can kill the minions, right? But can you set up minion freezes? Can you set up slow push, fast push? There's all these different mechanical and like theoretical things that go together in order to make you a good League player. And if you ever watch, like, there's one thing they say a lot is a game sense in CSGO is super important.
Very.
If you ever watch a professional CSGO match, it always like
game sense can make
me.
you seem like a hacker, like genuinely.
No, it really can. Like you there, like it. I'm watching it and I lose my shit because people are like, I'm pretty sure this guy's behind the wall. I mean, where else could he go? My gut is telling me from experience, from playing this game so much, that he's behind the wall. They shoot the guy through the wall, and the guy's behind the wall. Like, that's game sense. But in terms of League, like, yes, game sense is important, but like, you have to actually like know a lot more about the game. So, for example, if you ever watch professional League players play, they have the ability to like set up a fight in. So there's 3 lanes in League. You can set up a fight in the mid lane, and then still be able to go to the side lanes, which top lane, bot lane, and go kill the minions and grab the gold from that, and then go back and still be able to fight. Like, they're not wasting time, they're not wasting like gold, they're not wasting like abilities and things like that. And that's something that just there's so much to learn about it. So yeah, I agree with Michael in terms of in League there's a lot of volume of stuff to learn. And in CS it's less to learn, but it's a lot to refine.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's true.
Thank you, and thank you for coming to my TED talk. Oh man.
Yeah, I think as much as we consider those like our main games, but I think the hardest game that I found to play, like with the highest skill ceiling that has a lot to learn and a lot to refine too, is StarCraft 2. I'm not sure if you've ever played it or watched esports.
No, I don't. I don't like RTS games. I've watched it, and it's just like
that game is ridiculous, dude. It's insane because so they have this, I guess you can say, mechanic, where it measures how many things you do on your keyboard and with your mouse per minute. They call it your APM, your actions per minute, right?
Yeah.
And pro players average. Well, one of the top players, he's a Finnish guy, Cyril. He averaged in his one game like something ridiculous, like 450 APM. Like
basically 450 actions a minute. So for context, guys,
and that was his average. Like
this is him
that
doing
was his
things.
average. That was how consistent he was. 400 actions per minute at his average APM. Like that's.
I've watched a couple. I just don't like the game.
My average APM, like if I'm playing really well, but I literally only play co-op mode with Alex. But my best APM that I'll get up to is maybe like 100, like 90. Because obviously like I don't play the game. It's never been my main game. Alex got decent at it at one point, so I could ask him like what his APM was at his height, but it definitely would not have been at 400 on average. That's just absurd to me. And the amount of stuff they have to pay attention to, they split their armies up and come in for like flanks, and they control which units are shooting where, and then like, oh, I'm going to pick up these units here and then drop them in the base there, and oh, okay, I'm getting attacked here, so I need to split this portion of my army. It's just, it's insane. I think that game is the highest skill ceiling.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's fair.
Yeah, I genuinely think that game is much harder than CS and much harder than League to play.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But also, like StarCraft for me, a lot of people don't enjoy that sort of game, and I can see why. I don't enjoy it. But I think a lot
RTS
of people
is sort of like it's a niche taste, let's say.
Yeah, but I also don't think a lot of people actually understand that RTS games is a lot harder than most people play. Like, it's fucking difficult to play that game.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah.
Turn-based strategy can also actually be quite fun. If you ever played something
like
Civ.
It's so fucking boring. No, it's so fucking boring.
It takes a while, but at least it gives you time to like think about stuff. If you're not taking the game seriously, then while you're waiting for everyone to finish their
Imagine
turn,
playing a
you're just
chess
like,
game. Imagine playing a chess game for fucking 5 hours. That's what your fucking turn-based strategy games are. It's just
you
chess
can make shorter
for
versions
5
too.
hours.
It doesn't need to be 5 hours. Depends on how long you want to play for.
Just casually into just like 30 minutes is paused. Let me just like die.
No,
You know.
I still think it's fun. Game, I don't know. Maybe it's because I was introduced to it like when I was a bit younger. But I really enjoy games like StarCraft. Civ can be. I have to admit, I don't think I've ever finished a Civ game. I've played it for like 3 hours at a time with Alex before, and I'm like, yo, dude, I'm sorry, this game is taking just so long, and I can't anymore. Can we just save it and continue another time? Never land up continuing
Yeah.
it. But
I
it's
hate,
just one of those things.
I hate games like that.
Um,
I have a friend
also
who loves
Stellaris.
games like that. So
Stellaris is very fun too.
I don't
But
know that.
that
Michael,
game
shut up with your
is
fucking turn-based shit, bro.
no, Stellaris isn't turn-based. Stellaris is like a space RPG thing, or space RTS RPG. Or I don't know if you can really say it's RPG, but it is definitely a space RTS. It's very like that game. I just don't understand.
That game you just don't
Oh.
understand. I mean,
a few of my friends play it. Alex as well plays it. He's why I got the game, and there's just so many things that you need to do, and you have to literally manage an economy within the game. Because if you do things, then your people become unhappy, and I mean the same thing happens in Civ, but I don't know. Stellaris just feels more complicated to me. That's probably because I haven't played it as much, but naturally, so.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
This has been one
I think
podcast.
you know, like this week we're actually going for completely different topics.
Than
what we spoke about. No, don't reveal the topics, Kevin. We save them for next week.
Topic?
We save them for next week. Big brain.
I'm just gonna say, viewers, I had 3 topics lined up.
Kevin also
went through one.
He got the topics from a bunch of drunk people too. I said to him
No.
night.
I got 2 topics from myself, and the one topic was from.
But
I
said to him that like, because you know they're always partying at Stellenbosch. I said that's a genuine solid way. That's a solid way to to get topics, man. Like
think about it.
Props
Drunk
to you.
People are gonna think of the weirdest fucking shit you've never thought of before, and you're like,
exactly.
I can fucking talk about that.
Yeah,
context.
That's why I was like, Jesus, that's big brain.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, but yeah, man, we talked about completely different things.
I do want to just quickly.
We're still gonna have 2 to cover. 2 to cover next week.
Yeah, we have 2 to cover next week. Technically 1, because the one topic is just kind of broad. We kind of dived into that one, I guess. No, but like, yeah. Next week, however, I do plan on trying. Like, I don't know. We still need to like organize and like think about it, really talk it through. But I do think next week I want to unveil the future of this channel. We'll see what happens. Anyway, that's next week's episode. It might not happen next week though, because it's a lot to talk about. We've got to really think about some stuff. But yeah. Anyway, I guess this is the end of the podcast.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure to leave a comment telling us what we should talk about. Any issues you have, be respectful in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe, and yeah, thanks for listening. We'll catch you in next week's episode of the Valley of the Varbs, Pri.
This is such a fucking sus podcast, Michael. See you guys next week.
Cheers, man.
Stay safe. Bye.